So, do you believe that God loved you unconditionally?
I do.
And so, why don't you love your Father unconditionally?
Because my father is not God. My father is
But your Father was
God.
created in the image of God. He is the Son of God, even though he's been turned away from God, he's still the Son of God. How
That
is
is
it
true.
that you can love God, whom you never seen, but don't love your Father, whom you have seen?
But I do love my father, just not unconditionally.
Well, conditional love is not love.
Eh, I mean, I think that's up for debate. Like I said, there are different times to different types of love.
There's only one real love, though.
So explain to me what that is.
It's the love when you love God with all your heart, soul, and might, and you're born
Mm-hmm.
of His Spirit. You cannot help but love your brothers. I mean, your neighbor, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's impossible to love God, who you never see, and resent your earthly father, who you see, because if you don't love your earthly father, there's no way back to God. If you don't
But
love
I
the
see God.
Son, if you don't love the Son, you can't love the Father.
I have to disagree with you with that because with a couple of things. One, I see God every day. I see God in the clouds. I see God in the beauty that we have in this world. I see God in the human desire and will to find a purpose for themselves, to help others in their struggles. I see God everywhere on a regular daily basis. I see God when I close my eyes, when I meditate, when I pray. And yes, I see God in my father. As evil as I may think that he is, I do see God in him. And I sometimes there is the question of, well, how do you contend with the conflict that is created by having one of God's creations have so much potential and do so many great things, but then they also do something so evil. They
Do,
also can hurt people.
do you think
So
God loved you, your Father, conditionally or unconditionally?
I think God loves my father unconditionally. Yes.
And
I
so,
mean, he's still alive.
why don't you love him? If you're a daughter of God, why don't you love your Father unconditionally then?
Because my human experience, I'm still connected to the physical things that he has done to me. And maybe I've just not grown to the point where I can love him
Have you
unconditionally.
forgiven him?
Yes, I have.
Then, if you have truly forgiven him, how can there not be unconditional love? Why there should be only unconditional love, not conditional love.
I
Because
think
as
forgiveness.
you forgive him, God forgive you, and so there's nothing left but love, unconditional love.
I think forgiveness has more to do with love of self than it does have to do with love for the other person.
Really,
I think
you
that,
love
yeah,
yourself,
yes, I
and
do.
how? Where do you get
I
the
love myself
love?
unconditionally.
I can imagine. Where do you get the love that you love yourself with? Where does that love come from?
um, where do I get the love that I love myself with? Huh. Well, you do know that as humans, we have something biologically built into us for self-preservation, right? So it's very difficult for us to cause pain to ourselves. Um, so I think biologically, just because to preserve this body, to preserve me, there is, of course, there's a certain level of self-love there. But as far as where I have gotten my sense of love in the truest form, which what I would say is more of a God love, I can appreciate my life's experiences and the things that they have taught me. And I do think it's just innate. And as I think as knowing that I am here at the will of the Almighty, it just gives me an unprecedented appreciation for myself.
And so,
So,
where do
and
you get the love from that you love yourself with?
Where do I get it from?
Yes. Where does that love come from that you love yourself with?
I guess it comes from God. It's one of God's creations. Then everything, if everything is created by God, then it would have to come from God, right? Where does it come from for you?
What a mess. And so you believe you love yourself, but you don't know where you get that love from to love yourself.
I've not fully discovered that yet. In fact, some people ask me that. Some people do ask me that. And I'm like, it just is. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe I'll discover it one day, but I have not fully discovered, why Aziza is how she is and why. I don't, other than my conscious drive to learn and grow and contribute and fulfill my purpose here. I can't tell you, oh, well, if you make a left on Prospect Street and go up Forgiveness Lane and dig a hole, that's where Aziza's love come from. I can't tell you that.
Amazing.